Hey YouTube, in the last couple of videos, I've had a couple people ask me, can you do a video on Pokemon storage space / management as a PvP player? Some specific questions are, do you have a living dex? Do you keep multiple Pokemon of the same species? So you don't have to like TM away? Uh, what IVs do you look for? And what do you keep and not keep? So I'm going to go over that now. I'll break it up into sort of three categories overall. Let's just I'll start with Match League because it's at the top here, and then I'll go straight to Great League, but I'll go Great League as in, we'll talk about Great League for IVs that I look for, Pokemon I build up, and then some of the other questions about multiple Pokemon and living decks and stuff. So timestamps below for that. But let's just start with Master League. So I am extremely tight in what I build for Master League. As you can see, the very few level 50s I have built are hundos. So we have Garchomp here, Ursaluna, Groudon, not even a hundo yet. I'm like many XL short, I think. I need 193 and I have 48, right? So I'm many XL short on that. Dragonite, though, is a good example. Metagross. So from that perspective, I will build up for Master League, realistically, only hundos. Is there other Pokemon that I have built up that aren't hundos? Yes. Let me just, off the top of my head, let me see if Excadrill, did I build this up? Yeah. So this is a 15, 14, 15, level 50 Excadrill. So I think if it's like, for Master League, if it's like just one-off, you always want the 15 attack if you can. But if it's like a 14 or 14 on the back end, I don't think that makes a substantial difference for being able to compete there. But as you can see, like, there's no point. Like I said, I have 48 XL candies here, but there's no point of building that up because I don't have it yet. Like, I'm still, Lugia is the other one that I actually have grinded the crap out of, and I have a hundo. So for Master League, it's basically hundos. Even this Dialga, like, my best one is a 15, 14, 13. I don't have the XLs. I don't have a good other one yet, so I'm just waiting on it. So when it comes to Master League, it's always a little trickier because I only have such a few amount of XLs and a few amount of legendary Pokemon. When it comes to raiding, I'm just going to quickly talk about raiding because like Metagross is one of the best raid attackers. So I do have a few hundo do I have another hundo? No. I have a few Metagross, and I think when it comes to raid attackers, I think that if you just get to like level 40, these are still level, some of these are level 30. I think that's enough, right? So I got the hundo that I have as a PvP player. This is the one I built up that has Meteor Match and Earthquake that I would use before because it's a lucky, it's cheaper to build up, level 40, right? And then we go down to like level 30. So depending on what your priorities are, because as you say, I still only have 123 XL candies, but I still have about 1400 Beldum candies. So realistically, if I wanted to build up a few more level 40 Metagross for raids, I could. But as a PvP player focus, I do not build them up. So that is my sort of Master League rating group. When it comes to Great League and Ultra League, I'm going to sort by number. I'm going to go in reverse because it's more fun. When it comes to what I keep, what I look for, stuff like that, when do I build, when do I not build? So I guess these new ones are a good example of ones that'll just kind of like, so I've got like a 1, 15, 13 here. I have a 0, 15, 11 here. I have a 0, 8, 15 here. So they're all decent IVs. I got to check the sex because the female is better. And I'm thinking, oh, mine best one. Yeah, so I at least have one female here. Is that the right symbol for a female? I think so. Either way, it's different than this one. So I have at least one female, I know. So I could build this up. I have the candies for it. I'm just if you've been around this channel long enough, you know that I'm very strict with what I build because I don't have multiples of each. And the Swampert is the perfect example of having multiple but not building them up. So right now I have a 1, 15, 11, 1500 CP. And right now I have a 184. Nope, that's my Ultra League. I have a 0128 for the Shadow. So I'll have a Shadow and non-Shadow. But as you can see here, because Swampert has so many community days, I actually have a 01314 with Hydro Cannon. I have a 21310 Shadow version here. And I have a 11513 here as well. I use, again, I don't think it's ever going to be useful in little, like some sort of little cup, but keeping one of these Pokemon always below a little cup is not a bad option because you never know what could happen in little cup. And I already have, as you can see here, a 01215 and a 1814 Shadow for Ultra League. So realistically, the question is now like, okay, you have two non-Shadow and a Shadow good one just sitting below 1500 that you're not using. Why are you keeping it? Why aren't you building it up? Why aren't you building one up with Sludge Wave? And the realistic answer is I could build this up, but you're gonna look at my dust and saying you have a ton of dust. What are you worried about? 13.9 million dust looks like a ton of dust, especially when this costs 32,000 plus like another 10,000. 42,000 should not make a difference, right? But when it comes to like Pokemon that you need to build, you need to understand that dust can disappear in a second, right? So let me just see if there's any other hundos that I have here. Kartana, perfect. I eventually, as like one of the top grass users, I would eventually like to build this all the way up to level 50. I'm a ton of XL candy short. To do so would cost 345,000 dust, right? I don't have yet a good Mewtwo. I don't even have a hundo, even though I have done like 150 raids. I don't have a hundo. My best is a 14, 15, 15, or the XLs for it. I don't have one for Dialga. I don't have one. I haven't built up my Groudon yet all the way. I don't have Zacian. I haven't built up yet. I've got a 15. What's my best one here? 15, 15, 13, which is like functional enough. 239 candy. I'm still short, but like to max this up is 444,000. So if I actually like wanted to, if I just said like went hard one day, not one day, if I go hard for 6 months and grind the heck out of XL candies, I could realistically dump 5 million, 6 million into Master League in a second. So suddenly that almost 14 million is now down to like 8 million. And it's the same with these, like, I haven't even built up some of like the fun ones that I talked about. Yeah, like Togedemaru is not any sort of good in Master League. I've actually started there. But like it's still going to cost like another 200,000. So for me, I would rather just TM away moves on my current Pokemon than build them up. That being said, I was down to 20 charge TMs last season because of the Go Fest. I'm now up to 111. So it comes down to where you think you're going to have more of a problem. Are you going to have more of a problem with Stardust, or are you going to have a problem with charge TMs? If you want, you can definitely have two Swamperts with different movesets. If I'm going to build two of movesets, what it's going to come down to is breakpoints. And this is where I'm going to show about Medi. Right now, my Medi is a 4, 13, 15 because it was just the best I had at the time, and it's a level 51 gets like 1493 CP. So I can get the level 51, 14, 13, 15. Swag talked about the Medi Slayer, which is like a 7, 15, 7, something, or I forget the exact things, where it's, if everyone's going to have Medicham, having the rank 1 or top like 10 rank is actually not ideal because you're going to get into a bunch of mirror matches, plus there's breakpoints on other ones. So right now I have a 7, 14, 13 Medi that gets up. I ran the thing and it goes up to level 49.5, 1500 CP. So this is one where I would. So if there is that sort of like breakpoint issue that a rank 1 doesn't get, and you're like, Medicham is a very, very unique case. Medicham is everywhere. There's certain breakpoints against other meta Pokemon. This is one that I would consider having 2 of. And it's not even just like 2 different movesets. I've talked about Dynamic Punch for Psychic a few times on the channel over the past little bit, where Dynamic Punch hits a little harder, is a little less energy, and you realistically you only need Psychic for like Ghosts and the Mirror Match. But if you look at the other meta, a Sandslash, Registeel, Lickitung, like Dynamic Punch is way better in the majority of matchups. So it's not even that I would just build this up to run Dynamic Punch on it. I would still just run whatever. I would TM away, but this is one where I would look at doing like building that up, even though I do have one. And if you played back in the day, I also have a level 40, 14, 14, 15, because this was basically the best I can get level 50, level 40 back in the day before they made Excels a thing. So you're going to see that there. You're going to see that with a Azumarill. This is just people who've been playing for a long time. I have a 1, 14, 15 Azumarill level 45, but then I have a 10, 15, 15 level 38.5 because that was before XLs. So I'll keep them. I don't think Niantic will ever revert and go to a level 40. They said they got rid of Classic. They don't even do freaking Premier anymore in Ultra League and Master League. But they definitely got rid of Classic. I would guarantee, not guarantee, but like 99% sure they will never, ever say Great League Classic level 40, Ultra League Classic level 40. So realistically, I think I could get rid of this, but I have enough storage space that I've already double moved it, that it's fine just sitting there. In terms of like rank 1s and stuff like that, let me just give you I'm trying to think like what one off the top of my head. So Ninetales is a good one. Basically what I want to try and say is when it comes to rank 1 versus Clefable. Clefable is a good one because I just looked at this one. So I have a 0, 15, 12 Clefable for Great League. It's like rank 10. 1499 CP, that's great. When it comes to Ultra League right now, I have this was a rank 39, I don't know, what's that, 112, 9, something like that, 113, 9. I have a rank 39 Ultra League. For me, I haven't built it up yet. This is sufficient. So when it comes to like the top ranked Pokemon, do I need to wait for the top ranked Pokemon or even the top 10 Pokemon to build up? No. I'm fine with rank 40, rank 50, rank 100 Pokemon to build up. I've done an analysis if you've gone and seen do IVs matter? Basically what it comes down to is when do IV matter? IVs matter on stuff like Sableye, speaking about, and all those ones in the Great League that I have 2 built up from here's my level 40 Sableye, 15, 15, 12. Here's my level 49 Sableye, 2, 12, 15. And it matters in terms of bulk here. 9, I think my analysis showed like 4.5, 5 level difference is when that difference in bulk makes a substantial difference in the amount of wins you make. So for those, yes, you try to get as much bulk as you can on these Pokemon. Again, Medi is an interesting one with the bulk trade-off versus the attack. And some of these Pokemon are the same thing, because what it comes down to, the difference between like a level 40, like if I had like a 47.5 Sableye here versus I have a 49, the difference is going to be like not too much. Having like a 3 or 4 attack instead of a 2 is really not going to be too much of a game breaker in terms of like win losses there. So you don't ever have to really look for the sort of optimized ones. In terms of IVs of just ones, I always keep, and you can just say a random Pokemon. Let's go CP minus 1500. I always keep a bunch of IVs that I haven't built yet. I just looked at that one. I'm seeing if there's another example. Of Pokemon that I haven't like built up yet. Just have the community there. Okay, so this is an example of one that I have not built up yet, because I know Primarina is eventually going to get a community day, right? So I have a 0, 14, 11, I have a 1, 11, 14, I have a 2, 14, 13, I have 1, 15, 13, and I have a hundo. All just waiting for the community day. So I will be I'm always very careful with Pokemon, what I want to build up, especially Pokemon that you know are going to community day. Sometimes you don't know what's going to get a community day. And that is why I always keep, again, it's very easy to know like the owl here having a good low one and a high one. You will eventually get a community day for starters. You know that. It's these other ones, and I know Gumi's going to get a community day. It's these other ones that can potentially get community days that I'm more not hesitant to build, but some that I will build and won't build, or just like keeping IVs in case, in the chance they will get a good one in the future. But yeah, so I'll try to keep sort of like a rank 1 if I can get a rank 1, sure. But even like these Ponyard is a perfect example. So like I've got a 115.9 here. I got a 013.6. I got a 112.12. So basically, if I see anything in like the top like 50 to 100, I'll just keep it. And then later, depending on like when I eventually want to build it up and use it, or if it has a community day, then is when you go into analysis on, do you just want, what's the difference between like a rank 1 and like a rank 100? Like, is there a huge difference in level? If not, is there certain breakpoints that matter? So for me, I always keep a few of the Pokemon. One thing I didn't talk about is Shinies. I will never keep realistically more than, unless it's like a rare shiny, I will never keep more than 2 Shinies. Community Pokemon, I've caught, again, Litwick, you see 2 there. Fungus is a little more rare, so I haven't tossed those yet. But any community Pokemon, I will just only keep. I'm trying to think like I'll just go with like the beginning. Let's just go by number here. Like Bulbasaur, 2 Shinies. Charmander, 2 Shinies. Squirtle, 2 Shinies. Basically, there's no reason for me to have 50 Shinies. For me, it's, again, I'm not a shiny hunter. I find it a waste of storage, and especially community Pokemon, when everyone has done these, everyone has these Shinies already. So unless you're like just trying to get like trade Shinies to get those lucky shiny, like stuff like that, like if that's what you're into, sure. For me, as a PvP focused player, that just seems like a waste of bag space, right? So I think that's basically it. So let me just give you a wrap up, because I know it can be tough to follow me at times. So Master League, look for a hundo. If I can't get a hundo, 15 with a 14, or even like a 15, 15, 13, something like that is sufficient. I don't build them up unless I realistically have the XLs, because I don't find it a good use of my dust at the moment when I build so much Great League and Ultra League Pokemon up. I think in terms of rating, unless they're like an elite raider like Metagross, I think you can get like a couple other level 40s. For me, it is, again, also sort of a waste to go to level 50. I know that it helps for raids, but you can always find friends, right? Hopefully online. They made that a little trickier with remote rating increase there. So that is the Master League. In terms of Great League, in Little Cup, I keep basically try to always find a hundo. Not a hundo. Yeah, try and find a hundo. If you get a hundo, always keep the hundo no matter what. If you can find a rank 1, always keep that no matter what. For me, most of the time, rank 1 versus rank 20 versus rank 50 doesn't make too much a difference. So anything that is like that, I will keep that sort of rank 50 Pokemon. I keep Pokemon that I know guaranteed will have future community days. Different, like 10 of those. Starters are the main ones. In terms of building up Pokemon, I don't have right now multiples of Pokemon. I will just TM away moves as needed. I think this is just a waste of dust to build up a ton of those, to have like 2 Swamperts, one with Sludge Wave, one without it. I think that's just a waste of dust, even though it's just like 40, but you do that like 5-10 times, it's a waste of it. It adds up. And is there anything else that I said during this video? Yeah, again, Medicham is a very specific matchup where if you're seeing a ton of Pokemon in the meta, then breakpoints do matter. And that's why you're actually going to see I built up, I have, let me just look about Gligar. Because Gligar, I had a 5, 12, 15 that I use for a faction I have there, digging thing. And then I needed one, I actually purified one, had I known Gligar. This is talk about being stupid. I had a 2, 12, 13, 14, or 15, whatever the back end was, and I purified it because I needed a return for a faction matchup, right? So I did that before Gligar got boosted, and then I have a shadow version of Gligar, so 8, 1, 11, 8, 1, 12. So when it comes to sort of meta Pokemon, I think there is more leeway in building up multiple shadow versus non-shadow. And I always think, again, I always have shadow versus non-shadow. So my analysis has shown, and that's, I'll end on this. My analysis has shown that for the majority, unless it's like Shadow Machamp, Shadow Bomb Snow, anything that has like fast move damage, Shadow Granbull or Gardevoir, some of the other ones, it's just matchup dependent. Swampert, Gligar, you pick up some wins, you lose some. It honestly just comes down to preference. And for me, I actually think it's worth building up one of each to see what you like. So even though on paper, Shadow Gligar and regular Gligar are not much different, I use Shadow Gligar today, and it is a substantial difference, in my opinion. I like the Shadow much, much more. So I will probably be using the Shadow moving forward. So those are the type of things that you need to think about. As you can see, keeping a living dex. Now, in fact, if you want to talk about stuff I do not care about, costumes, you are going to see I had hundreds and hundreds of costume Pikachus, but if they're not a Pika Libre and they're not a shiny and they're not a good IVs, I've tossed every single one of them. I really don't see a reason to keep a bunch of random Pokemon that I will never use around once they're in my sort of decks. I don't even quite honestly care about my decks quite on I know a lot of people want to catch them all and evolve everything, but like I'm trying to see if any of these evolve with these hats. I guess not. But even sometimes, like, actually probably Charjabug is a perfect example. We just had a community day for Charjabug, not Charjabug, for Grubbin to get into Vigavolt. I have 4 shinies here. I have did I evolve that one? Oh, I did evolve that one. I'm just saying there are some past like community Pokemon I haven't even evolved to the top one because I don't care about filling out the shiny decks, filling out my decks. Like, I started too late. I don't travel enough. I don't grind enough. I don't need this dex. I'm a PvP player, focused, true and true. My current Pokemon show that I am with what I build and how I keep them around. So that is basically how I manage my storage space. So yeah, just look for the IVs, keep hundos and stuff. The rest of the stuff is just wasting your thing. So what you can't see here is, again, I've been playing since December 2018. So almost 5 years now. And I only have 2,800 Pokemon. Where some people have like 5,000, 5,500, 6,000. What can you get up to now? 6,500. Like, why? Like, I don't understand why people have that much. I would much rather, and I'm a free-to-play player, so I have 1,822 coins right now. I'm a free-to-play player. I don't buy coins. I get them from the gyms. And also, I'm very, very strict about what I buy. I buy, for me, green passes are the best. Second, I will buy some incubators, but only if I have a ton of green passes. So in terms of green passes here, I currently have 74. And can you see your incubators here? No. In terms of incubators, as you can see, you'll see, I have 3 here. I've already gone over the egg problem. But if we just want to like incubate one, I'm not going to incubate it, but I have 22 regular here and 24. Oops, you can't see it. Sorry. Let me just pop that up. I have 22 regular incubators for use here, 3 times use, and I have 24 of these. And right now, I'm only doing my free one because for me, eggs, this egg pool is garbage, right? Outside of Larvesta here, I don't need any of these other Pokemon in the chews. I don't need, realistically, Larvesta. We just had 2 weeks, like 4 weeks of these new Pokemon. I've got a ton of those. I've got my Lickitung built up. I've got a ton of Gligars, one of each built up already. I don't need that. In the 12, we've already had Dino Community Day. Absol's kind of useless for GBL. I already have a ton of XL candy for Scroopy, and like Malamar, you really only need for Great League, and I have one. So for me, eggs are a waste of money. Incubators are a waste of money. So I have a ton. I'll buy it if it's like a great, like if you can get like 15, 20 incubators for like 1,400 coins or something, then I will buy it. Otherwise, I just focus on these boxes for raid passes. And then some of that will go to storage. But as you can see, as I mentioned, I only have like what I say, 2,800 here for Pokemon, and in item storage I have 3,200. Right? So a lot of the longer time people are at like 6,000 plus. I don't think you need it. I have try and keep around. Might as well just do this while we're here, because why not? I'll timestamp below so everyone can see it. I try and keep like 200 revives and potions. Again, I don't care about this. I'll just toss this, keep that there. In terms of Pokeballs, I do have like an auto catcher, so I try and keep at least like a couple hundred Pokeballs, but then the rest are just Great and Ultra. If I can have that 300-400 of each, that's sufficient for me. Berries, Raz are the ones I used to catch. Nanabs are the ones that I used to feed gyms. Pineaps are the ones for newer Pokemon that I just throw all the time. Golden Razes I think are always great for legendary Pokemon. Silver Pineaps are the one I try to use on legendary Pokemon as well. Incense, because they're kind of useless to me. Star Pieces I use obviously a lot, because if you get like a 4x dust GBL there or something. But the incense are useless to me right now. I'm already level 50, so the lucky eggs are useless to me. Rare candies. Rare XL candies, I'm pretty I haven't used a ton of them. I've used like 20 or something, but for the most part, I'm just using them like mythical Pokemon that you don't have access to get XL candies for. Rare candies, I've already dumped, as you're gonna see. What I used to do is just dump rare candies into legendaries, because I eventually need to build up a Zacian and stuff like that. But like Zamazenta 272, Zacian 603. I probably dumped a few. Cosmog 250. Yveltal 165. I've already built one up. I'll probably have to dump a bit more into that. Xerneas 200. So I've already probably Landorus 328. I've already dumped enough candies into most of these that I already have level 40s, and it's now just the XL. Like Zekrom, there's only 74, but I already have a level 40, 15, 14, 15 that I can build up to 100 to level 50 with XLs. These other ones that I've built up already, like Giratina 267. So those are where my XLs, my rare candies used to go. I still have 230. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them. 74 premium passes. Again, try and keep as many charged TMs as you can. I usually keep around like 130, like fast TMs. I've already deleted a couple. I don't think you really need a ton of fast TMs. I think charged TMs is where it's at. I have a ton of elite and charged TMs. I've never bought a box with an elite or charged TM in it. I've only gotten them from GBL or those like events where they give them out. And I still have a ton of them just sitting there. And then for stones, I keep 5 of each there. Okay, that's enough. So that is Pokemon storage, plus a little bit of item storage as well here. Hope that helps. If there's any specific questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll try and answer them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.